Well, hello again, everybody. Now, today this video may end up being just a tad controversial, uh, and I'm sure everybody will have an opinion as to whether this is a good idea or not. Uh, Actually, I don't even know if it's a great idea, but I think it will work. Okay, so the air intake. This was the way that it was when I first got it, and I have since taken all this off, but I put it on here just to show you. Okay, so what is supposed to happen is there's supposed to be a tube hooked onto here, and it runs out and basically down in this area somewhere around where the headlight is and all that, maybe over under the battery or something. But anyway, that tube is supposed to run out where it can get more fresh air. One thing about that, though, you can see if you put it where anywhere in here, like right in here, you're going to be getting hot air from the transmission cooler. In here, the air is blocked coming into it through the headlight. Because I have a custom bumper on it, there's usually entrances on the front of the bumper for it. So in order to get good cool air into the engine, this area just is not going to work. Plus, when you get an intake, if I put it down this low, if I get an intake there, y'all know, or a lot of you do, I drive through a creek. That's my driveway. And at times, that water gets up. So there are times when there may be water up in this area. You run a risk, even if the water is this deep, as you're going through it, you're pushing that water and it will be running over top of this bumper. And then it will be coming back around your vehicle. When it gets over here, it'll be this deep. But in front of your vehicle, it will be up to here. So you will be drawing in water. There's another disadvantage to putting it here too. I'll get into that in a minute. But I could try to find the stock system or the stock setup, but I don't want that. For that reason, and a couple more we're going to go into. Okay, so this is what the guy had rigged up on it. This is the original rubber piece that goes on there. And by the way, whether you can see it or not, I don't know. Yeah, inside of this is the air filter. So we are not doing away with the air filter. We're still going to have an air filter in it. So that way we know we're getting good clean air. That's where I don't understand why you put this on it. Because, yeah, this is a tractor air filter. And he had it duct taped onto this piece. So, yeah, that wasn't going to work right. Okay, so you know that engines, gasoline or diesel, either one, they like cool air. Hot air does not aid in the combustion process as readily as the denser cool air. So you want to draw in cooler air. Now, okay, a lot of vehicles will have, or I think about most of the vehicles, will have the air intake around where the bumper is or the headlight in front here. One thing about having the intake low, besides the chance of sucking up some water if you go through deep water, but also, let's say I did put the intake right here, drawing in air under the bumper, and just, if I have to cross water, I can just pull it up. I mean, that would work. But if you have ever, on a hot summer day, walked across a blacktop road barefoot, you'll know that road gets very hot. The sun shining on the blacktop heats that blacktop up, and you will have an area over top of the blacktop that is pretty hot. So the closer you get to the road, the warmer the air is going to be. And then also the fact that if you put it anywhere in this area, you are just getting whatever air happens to come around the headlight or the warm air that comes through the radiator. So putting your air intake up here, unless you can get as high as you can possibly go, you're going to get that warmer air coming off your blacktop. Okay, now as the air comes up and over the vehicle, it comes up to here, a lot of the air is going to hit the windshield and it's going to go over the windshield. Now, a lot of the air also will roll back under and create a positive pressure zone right in this area. That is why your heater and air conditioner cowl is right here, because it is drawing in that higher pressure air that is actually kind of helping to force some air into it. If you'll notice as you're going down the road, if you turn off the fan of your heater or air conditioner and you leave it on the vent position, you can feel some air blowing through. It's not blowing hard, but it is blowing air through. So you do have a positive pressure right in here. Now, what I'm wanting to do, and with the design of this truck, it's fairly easy because of the way the air box is made, or the filter box, the way that the position of the filter, a cowl induction on this. Now, I am not cutting a hole in the hood because, you know, the hood's in good shape. The whole truck is in pretty good shape. Besides a little dent and ding here and there, the truck is in pretty good shape. So I don't want to hurt the truck. I don't want to mess it up. However, I am going to be cutting a hole in this truck, but it's not going to be on the outside where you can see it. Let me show you what I've got in mind. Okay, so here, of course, is your air intake. Now, if I want to draw air in through this cowl right here, the best way for me to go is right around here and right in this area. Now, I've already looked in here. I can actually reach my hand behind it and feel. There is nothing directly behind that. The wiper arm is right there, but it is far enough away that I'm not going to get into it. So, if I can cut a little hole right here, big enough to allow airflow to come in here and loop around and go into that. Now, one thing you're going to probably be thinking is, when it rains, rain comes down into this. Okay, that's why not only am I going to try not to put that connection right on the bottom, this actually has drainage channels going down through here too. So any water that comes in is going to drain underneath of our intake port. So you're not going to get direct water infiltration straight into that. Okay, so what little bit of rain droplets or whatever that do make it in there, if they do go in, they'll get absorbed by the filter, and it will be fine. We're not going to hydrolock our engine with what little bit of water comes in through here. So I'm not worried about that at all. Now, someone has put a ground wire here. I don't know really why they had to put that, but I'm going to put it back because if they put it there, they had a reason. It just goes directly to the negative terminal of the battery. So I'm going to I'll take this off, and I'm just going to move it somewhere else on here. But we just need a way to get from there to there. Let me show you what I got for that. Okay, so what I got for it, now, you can buy stuff that is made for air intakes on vehicles. This is not specifically made for that, and I think it will be fine because there is no real hot air hot enough to melt this plastic right in that area, so it should be fine. What this is, this hooks to your gutter coming off of your roof. It goes in there, and then you can extend this and put it wherever you want it. And this is actually too big of a pipe. It's almost like a 4-inch, but I've already put it on there to try it, and when you put the clamp on, clamp it down, then it seals around it because this all folds up. It's actually, to me, the bigger pipe seems like that would let it breathe better. Oh yeah, by the way, this piece was only like $7. So, or maybe $8. It wasn't much. So, okay, we're going to take this end piece off. We don't need that. And we are going to use this piece. That's a fairly good size opening. We can put this on here and run this around over to right there. So all we gotta do, make us a hole right here, put this into the cowl induction, or into the cowl, and where it is up, I'm gonna try to put it as high as I can get it here, and where it is up high, it should keep water from getting in there. And then, you know, you have the seal right here that blocks off the hot air from coming up and going into here. Now, if you had doubts about how much air will come in, you could always drill like these out. These are covered, but you could drill those out. It should be fine. But there's a lot of vents all the way across here, and there should be plenty of airflow compared to the area of, well, the area of that intake right there. So, first off, I need to mark where this is going to sit. Critical, it's just a ground. And I think it was just a precaution as well, so. Okay, so here is our little piece. And I do have a marker. And if I can put it I guess I'll get a grinder and see what I can do here. Okay. And yes, I know that's not a beautiful hole, but all we're trying to do is get it to where this goes over like that. And I am actually going to angle this too. Okay, so now we have that connected, and that's clicked in. Okay, so there's our install. All right, so y'all can tell or not, it is raining. Of course, the whole reason I've been able to do this today is because I got rained out of work. So I guess what do you expect? But let me show you what all I've got done here. Y'all watched me, but a lot of it was probably time lapse. Well, let me show you what all I got done. Okay, so I cut a hole through here and I cut slits. I should have made these a little longer. I found that out. If anybody was to want to try this, I would suggest making the tabs as long as you possibly can so you can get a screw in way out here. But see what I did? I actually cut this so it would sit a little more sideways. And I put a screw in here and there, one down that way through the bottom. And I didn't put one on this side. I can't really get to it. But I think the 3 screws should hold it pretty well. Now I did have to unbolt this proportioning valve and move it over a little. But that, you know, that way it gave room for this to fit. And it just runs around straight into the intake. Now this should be pretty good because there is a little gap on the bottom, so rain shouldn't go in there. And yeah, I think that will work. All right, so I ended up kind of cheating a little, and I came into the truck to get out of the rain. I am soaked, but that's fine. I got our stealth Cowl Induction hooked up, and next will be the testing. And I want to test both ways. I am going to take the original intake that it had on it when I got it. I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it on a dry day, because this big V10 truck is it will be kind of dangerous to test 0 to 60 on a wet road. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test on a dry day, nice straight stretch of road. I'm going to put the original intake on. I'm just going to fold that one out of the way. It's not even going to be hooked up. And we'll test 0 to 60 on it. Then I'm going to take the original one out and I'm going to put mine back on, the Cowl Induction. And then we'll do a 0 to 60 test and just see if there's any improvement. I think there may be a small amount. I don't think it's going to be that great, but it's going to be maybe a little bit. I also want to do a mileage test. Now, I have been checking the mileage on this truck since I got it, and it gives a fairly consistent 8 to 8.5 miles per gallon, pretty much no matter how I drive. If I drive it fast, slow, whatever, 8.5 miles a gallon. Okay, so I'm wanting to test and see if our Cowl Induction will now give me better mileage. I don't know if it will or not. It'd be great if it does. But anyway, y'all have to wait till next week for that, because it's going to take probably a week to do all of the testing and all that. I'm thinking I may get a piece of screen wire and put over that hole on the inside. We do have the filter, but I think I'm going to go ahead and get a piece of screen wire and put over that too. That way it's just any sticks. I noticed some sticks and stuff back in there. I may actually take the whole thing back off and vacuum it out after it stops raining. But yeah. Anyway, I guess that's going to be about it for this little video. Tune in next week to see the results of the testing of this Cowl Induction. I appreciate everybody watching, and I'll see y'all on the next one.